Okay, everybody, this is to show you how to use the ERD Plus. Again, you'll use this week as an example to show that you know how to draw up a plan, which is the entity relationship diagram. And what we'll do in the following weeks is you'll actually create your own database that you select for your project, and you'll have to draw that up for submission. So again, for ERD Plus, you'll go to erdplus.com. Now, if you have a Google account, you can just use that to log in. If not, you can create an account with a separate user ID and password. So what I'm going to do, when you get there, you'll go to Documents, and you'll do New Diagram. And I'm just going to do this as an example, so I'll just say Example, just type the name, and I'm going to leave it as ER Diagram. Don't worry about these two. We'll talk about these in later weeks in the class, but right now we'll just stick to ER Diagram. You'll hit Create, and we're going to go to the example. Now this is really simple to use. You'll have some buttons at the top, and let's say that we're going to create a few different entities. Okay, so I'm going to do Entity 1, okay, and you'll just click it, then you come down here and put it there where you want it to go. Now to change the information about this entity, you go to the right and see where it says Entity Name. Let's just make one up, and let's say that we're going to do a Singer entity, okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just click this so that we've got that, and I'm going to add some attributes, okay? So let's just say, let me just add 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll go through and change these around. Okay, so I've got all 5 added. Now remember, here's your entity. This is your table inside of Access. Each one of these will become a field or an attribute describing your entity right here. Now, in most cases, like I said, this is just an example. In most cases, you would have at least 10 different attributes describing a singer or whatever you're trying to describe there. What you'll always start off with, though, the very first attribute, especially in Access, will be the ID number. Okay, remember that keeps everything tied to that record. So let's go over here, and where it says New Attribute, I'm going to change it to Singer ID. Always put the name of the table, which is Singer, in front of the ID field. If not, you can't have more than one ID name of the field throughout your entire database project. If you leave them all as ID, it's going to get very confusing because when you run reports or queries, you're not going to know which one it is. So again, leave this as Singer ID, and this is our unique because it's our unique ID. I'm going to leave it like that. Remember, the underline means it's unique. Also, now we have different types of attributes. One of the first things you would have is the singer ID, and then you would have the singer's name. However, as we've learned in previous week, the name can be made up of 2 to 3 different other attributes. So we could do a composite attribute here. I'm going to click that. Here's composite. Go up here and call it singer name. And when you're naming these, keep them together, no spaces, no like this, or no space. Just do singer and then capitalize the N in the second word. Okay, so here's singer name. Now remember, I said this was composite, so it's made up of first, middle, and last name. So if you go down here where it says add component attribute, you'll go 1. Okay, so there's 1. Click that again, do component. Click it again, do component, just to show you how to do this. So under this, this will be, I'm just going to do singer F name for singer first name. Okay. On the next one, we'll do singer M name for middle name. And on that last one, we'll do singer L name for last name. Okay. Now we're going to leave these alone for right now. I'm going to come back and I'll stretch some of these out to show you how to do that. Let's go to the third attribute. What other attributes could we have? Well, we could have what they call what genre that singer's in. So let's go ahead and do genre. Now, especially in today's music, you could actually have more than one genre that you cater to, for example, country and pop. So what we're going to do here, since we could do more than one genre, we're going to do multi-valued. And remember, in the descriptions from last week, you'll get that double oval, which means there's more than one value that could be in there. Okay. What's another attribute that we could do? Well, we could do, what if the singer has won any awards? Let's see, awards. Okay, here's awards. And not everybody would have an award, so this would be an optional field. Now remember how you designate that would be with the O right here in the parentheses. So if that singer doesn't have any awards, we won't have to put anything, but if they do, we could put them in that list. All right, what's another attribute that we could use? We could do CD or album number, okay? So for example, if this artist has had 5 different CDs before and this is their 6th one, we could put that number there. And we're just going to leave that as a regular attribute, no reason to put this as any of these. All right, let me show you how to move these. If I move this down, look, all of this goes together. And don't leave all of these together, because if you leave them together, it's going to look very tight and very cluttered like this. So whenever you get your attributes added, just spread these out a little bit. Always put that ID number one first. Here is the composite attribute with the singer first, middle, and last name. The genre, I haven't created the other entity yet, but don't ever put an attribute over here to the left or to the right, because you may connect this to another table or another entity. I'll show you that here in a second. So I'm just moving these down a little bit. Here's the awards and the CD number that they are producing. Now, we have a singer here. Let's add another entity over here. So I click entity, and we're going to call this one promoter, okay? Now within this promoter, I'm going to click this back. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, and we'll just add 4 here as an example. Okay, what did we say we start with first? The promoter ID. So I'm going to go to this attribute right up here, change it to promoter ID. And remember, that ID is always going to be unique, okay, that ID number. So I'm going to move this over here. All right, let's click the next one. And we could put the location of this promoter, okay? So there's that one. What we could do, we could also do the year that this was established, okay? Year, EST, year established, okay? That would just be a hard-coded year that they came out, that they first started business. And then on this other one, we could actually create what they call a derived attribute and say years in business, okay? So if we know the year that they were established and the computer has the system date, this could be a derived field. So I'm going to click the years in business and change this one to derived. Now remember, that's the hashed line around that oval. So once you do this, now we have 2 entities right here. Here's our singer entity with all of our different attributes. Here is our promoter entity with all of our different attributes as well. Now these are related to another, so I'm going to go ahead and do connect. Click to connect and draw a line from singer to promoter. This creates a relationship. These are how these tables are related to each other. So what I'm going to do, never leave this as a relationship. Just like we changed the names of the attributes, we have to change the name of the relationship. So if you go over here, I'm just going to put has. So a singer has a promoter has a singer. Also, what we could do is change the cardinality, or how many times are they related. So let's go. A singer has, in most cases, if they have to sign a contract with them, probably 1 and only 1 promoter. So if you go over here, mandatory is 1 on the left side, and 1 max. So if I read it, a singer has 1 and only 1 promoter. Okay. Now let's look at it the other way. A promoter has probably, of course, at least 1 singer, but probably many. So we're going to go down here, and we are going to do many and 1. Mandatory is 1. So let's read it again. Promoter has 1 or many singers. So in just about a few minutes, as you saw, it's very easy to use this software. You could do this. This is what your homework assignment is going to be for this week. Please watch this video first and submit that, and you'll do well. If you have any questions, please make sure to go to the message board or post to the discussion board.